2019. Crown big power steering pump, sucking out of a bucket, pumping it into the side over here. Got synthetic LV ATF HE element OQ LB GTQ fluid, and then we start it up. So right here we're filling it up, sucking it out of this bucket right here. Usually end up with like, 9, 10, 11 quarts in it. Once it starts coming out of there with the engine running, it's good to go. This one we dropped out, replaced the torque converter, dropped the pan, and replaced the filter and then the internal harness with the temp sensor, and it ended up taking about 10 quarts. Right here, doing a little foot brake action. Trying to get the transmission up to 167. Once it gets to 167, then I'll take you over to the Fast Learn Adapt table and show you how I can do it, at least on a Snap-on scanner. I don't know how any of the other scanners do it, but this is how this one works. So a couple more minutes and we should be at 167. All right, so we're at 167. I'm gonna back out of here. Then you go over to, where are you at? Functional tests. I'm still in drive right now, so go back to park. Fast Learn Adapt process. Set parking brake, not really needed, just hold your foot on the brake. Block the wheels, doesn't need to happen. Make sure it's not in 4-wheel drive. Hit continue. And it says it's ready. Apply and hold the brake, shift the gear selector into the drive position, then it'll automatically start, I think. No, continue. All right, there, I'm in drive. Please wait. So then what it's gonna do for like 4, 5, 10 minutes is it's like pulsing the clutches. You can feel it. I don't know, you can't really capture it on camera. Well, this motherfucker won't focus, Jesus. But it's just like popping in and out of gear, purging all the clutch packs and everything. And then when it stops, I'll make start another video. All right, so the test just finished. This is critical to do exactly what this says, or then you'll have a bunch of neutrals. So put it in park, exit the test, and then turn ignition off and remove the key, and open and close the driver door and wait for 30 seconds. So exit it. This is a push button, so you just do that. So open it, and then close it, and then we'll wait 30 seconds. You guys don't have to wait with me, so we'll stop. All right, and what I like to do is restart it, go back to, I probably was already where I needed to be. Yeah, I was. Idiot. Go back to data, go to custom list, and then I go reverse drive a few times. I felt it take gear. If you don't wait long enough, what'll happen is you'll go to do this and you'll just have a bunch of neutrals. Ask me how I know. So I just go reverse to drive a few times, and then I go drive it. It'll probably flare, do something goofy a few times. If it does, like if it flares on the 4-5 shift, what you can do is you can go down to manual mode, and then you basically target it when if the 4-5 shift is goofy, I go to 4th and I'll go up 5th and down to 4th, up 5th, down to 4th, and then I'll go up to 6th and then go down to 5th, up to 6th, down to 5th. So you're targeting the gear that's like giving you trouble. So if it does flare, but a lot of the time, this one's got 103,000 miles. I suspect this one will adapt really quick, but because all we did was put a converter in an internal harness and fluid change. But this one came in for chattering, but after replacing all the fluid with that new fluid, it drove weird as hell, like banged into the next gear a few times, banged on downshifts. I have no idea why. I theorized the original fluid is either thicker or thinner, and then when you put all the new fluid in it, it makes it unhappy. So go through the whole relearn process and make everything happy again. So we're at 176 right now. We put the cooler bypass valve in it, delete, so that'll probably come down on this test drive I'm about to go on. See, like right now, the 1-2 shift is a little bit goofy, so I'll just go. I'm driving through a neighborhood, just go, for God's sakes, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's already starting to calm down. 1, 2. And you do that probably 15, 20 times, and it'll calm itself down. Then you go on to the next trouble gear. After you get it up and going for a little bit, you know, like a 7th gear cruising, I'll come to a complete stop and then let it shift out again. You know, just the more times you go 1st to 8th, 8th to 1st, 1st to 8th, 8th to 1st, you know, the better it's going to be. Like I said, if you got trouble gears, you target those gears manually and then just let it shift out on its own. Some of these 8-speeds, they have different downshifting strategies, I've noticed. So like it'll downshift, it'll skip gears, and the main one is it'll skip 2nd gear, some of these. And what it does is it seems like those are less likely to clunk on a downshift, whereas this one we're in 4th, 3rd, and then 2nd, and then 1st. You got to come like to a complete stop with this one for it to actually shift to 1st. But I've seen them where they'll do 3-1 downshifts, and I think the 3-1 downshifts ones, they're less likely to clunk from what I've seen. The 3-2 ones, sometimes they'll clunk on the 3-2 downshift or the 2-1 downshift. But that's just one thing I've noted about these 8-speeds, is that some of them will skip 2nd gear, some of them don't. This is a 2019 truck, GMC. I wasn't able to turn the DOD off because it would require shipping the ECU off for an unlock, and of course didn't tune the transmission. It's for a car lot job, so I'm not terribly concerned with it, but torque converter slip numbers are decent. I'm satisfied with that. Alright, so I just pulled over one last time. I'm gonna shift it out. Oh my god, nothing wants to focus today. There we go. Gonna shift it out one last time, make sure everything's good to go, make sure it's not clunky or chattering or anything. I know this wasn't a terribly in-depth video, but this is just a quick little, you know, what seems to work for us on how to fast learn adapt one, what to pay attention to if one is clunky on certain gears, how to alleviate that rapidly versus, you know, letting it automatically shift 1st to 8th, 8th to 1st. And this will probably adapt for the next like 50 to 100 miles. That's what I tell customers, because these 8-speeds are just really goofy and be like, it's still shifting weird. So, but yeah, I give it 50 or 100 miles, and if it's still doing anything goofy, bring it back to me. I very rarely have anybody bring it back to me. It's not to say that these 8-speeds aren't piles of trash in other facets. They do need to get replaced sometimes. The valve body does wear. Like if you do this fast learn and it's still, no matter what you do, banging into gears, it's probably wearing the valve body, or it could be worn in the valve body for so long and, you know, driven like that, it could have damaged the associated clutch packs with that. But this one went relatively smoothly, and the whole point of this was that, you know, if you change the fluid, or when we change the fluid, they'll shift wild as hell sometimes, and we found it beneficial to do the fast learn adapt process and then go drive it. And this one drove great, and I'll call the customer tomorrow and tell them it's good to go. This is a 19, so I think I might have already said that I wasn't able to turn the DOD off or tune the transmission. It's a car lot job. They don't want to spend that money or have the time to deal with it. They just wanted it to quit chattering. So that's what we gave them. Sometimes you got to give the customers what they want. But, I mean, if this was my personal one, I would take the truck apart for a little bit and send the ECU off and be able to tune the engine and transmission and be a little happier. But thanks for watching. That's all I got.